we're going to stand up, and then it's going to take 2 more shots to knock us down. And on the way up, we're going to take your other kneecap, and we're going to get up, and then it's going to take 3 shots to get us down. And when we do, we're going to take another hunk out of you. Before long, we're going to be the last one standing.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we are here to take a look at the Detroit Lions' first group against the Buffalo Bills last night, offensively and defensively in their 2 drives. So we're going to take a look back at last night's game and kind of get a good feel on what actually went down. Just take a look back at it. Now, I have done a full rewatch on this game. I have my notes, and we'll probably break this into different segments because I don't think I could give you guys all my takeaways in one video, or we'd be here for a very long time. I think we'd break the record of my longest video. Yeah, so I don't really want to do that. So we'll probably break this up, like guys that stood out, maybe the studs and duds from the game, show you guys some clips as we do that. Yes, I know this is zoomed in and it kind of looks a little weird. It's because of copyright issues. We're going to do our best. We're not going to show every single play in here. Both teams were missing some key pieces, of course. I mean, we didn't have Hawkinson, Swift, Brashad Perriman. And then defensively, we know we missed pretty much our entire interior defensive line. So we were already pretty deep on the depth chart. And it definitely showed up when we were on the defensive side of the ball. And same thing for the Bills. They didn't have Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, Emmanuel Sanders, new look offense, and new look defense. Now, I think Jared Goff made some really important points in his press conference after the game, saying that preseason is different than the regular season, specifically for the offense, because we're going to run our plays no matter really what the defense is going to show. So let's take a look at the Detroit Lions offense first. Now, the first drive from the offense was pretty darn bad, okay? We all saw it wasn't very good. It was a quick 3 and out. The first pass, I'm not going to show a clip, but the first pass was a quick throw to Tyrone Williams, like a quick little out route. It looked like a rhythm pass, just something that was kind of predetermined, and he quickly threw it over there without really going through progressions, and it was knocked away. It maybe could have been interception, which would have been terrible, but that was the first pass, and then we came back with this handoff, and I know there's been some criticism with our offensive line, so I really want to look at, okay, who struggled, who played well, and try to pinpoint the exact players instead of just saying the entire offensive line, because some guys did play well, and there was good and bad from really all of our offensive linemen, if I'm being honest. Like, for example, Decker got beat a couple times, Frank Ragnow had a flag on him, Sewell, I think he's getting more criticism than he actually deserves. Big V had some great reps and some pretty bad reps as well. Jonah Jackson had some misses. So I think across the board we had good and bad, and that's what I kind of wanted to show in this one. But then we came back with just Jamal Williams, and we got to see a lot of Jamal Williams. The dude had 9 rushing attempts in the first quarter. Okay, now having an 18-play drive has something to do with that, but 9... that's a lot, right? He was on pace for going for 40 in that game, which is crazy. But anyway, we ran the ball a lot, that's for sure. This one, you see Penei Sewell working his way to the second level. You get the pull here by Darren Fells. Sewell is unable to pick up this linebacker at the second level. Jamal goes with the quick cutback. Frank Ragnow is unable to pick up the linebacker, and that run play just basically goes nowhere. And then we're looking at a 3rd and long. And this is the play that gets very highlighted. A lot of it, honestly, probably should go on Big V. I mean, Sewell did let his guy by, but a lot of it just should go on Big V. First off, getting a 3rd and 10 is not good. You don't want to do that. That's kind of what we're trying not to do this season. The way we're going to play our offense is stay ahead of the chains. This is a very big and bad spot to be in for our offense, and we saw it on this first 3rd and 10. Now, I thought this was interesting. I paused this at the perfect time, but look at Sewell and look at Decker. You notice Sewell doesn't consistently have good get-offs, and when he doesn't, usually things went wrong, but every once in a while, he had like the same get-off as Taylor Decker. To see Sewell do that was pretty cool, and he had some really good reps. So here we are, 3rd and 10, and when you're in 3rd and 10, you got to wait a little bit, right? You got to allow guys to get down the field. That way you can push the ball that far. So you need good protection in these situations. They bring a 4-man rush, and I know Sewell gets the hate on this play. Let me make sure my quality's all the way okay. It is. I'm sorry. This is just what NFL gives us. I know Sewell gets a lot of hate on this play, but you got to watch Big V here. He loses some balance, stumbles a little bit. They hit him with the swim move right over the top. And really why this is such an issue is because Jared Goff, you see he came out of his progression, right? You saw his back foot plant. When he comes out of that, he doesn't have an opportunity to step up right here. It's a 5-step drop, bang. All right, so his first option must not have liked it, so he's going to that hitch to step up. But unfortunately, there was no chance for him to step up because Big V lost some balance, hit him with the swim move. He gets beat here. Yes, Sewell does technically give up this sack, but if Big V has good protection, he's able to step up in the pocket. Not saying it was a great rep by Sewell by any means, and you can even see at the bottom they threw like a little late stun in there, but it's because he couldn't step up into the pocket, so it kind of killed the play.
Now, if you're specifically looking at Sewell, watch Sewell's hand placement. Notice how it gets outside and the defender gets in his chest, and see how he's able to push him back with one arm. Keep that in mind as we go through because you're going to see the good reps versus the bad. And I think that's something we noted coming out of the draft is sometimes, really when he gets beat, he allows defenders to get in his chest.
Yeah. First drive for the offense was something that's definitely worth forgetting. But the second drive was much different, and we're going to get to that in a second. I want to first then look at this defense and the first defense. Now, keep in mind, like I said, our entire interior defensive line is pretty much not here. Now, Michael Brockers is healthy. He's just not playing. Levi is someone that should be back next week. You have a guy like Deshaun Hand, who has been balling. He's not on the field. You have no John Pennicini, so you're losing that big run stopper. Okay, we were missing a lot of defensive linemen, and it's not an excuse. It's just the facts. There was no defense. There was no Nick Williams. So our two interior defensive linemen were Lee McNeil, who didn't really flash in this game, but also Jay Sean Cornell. We had, of course, Trey Flowers and Romeo, who actually looked pretty good in their role. I liked what I saw from them. Now, I know it says first 17. That's because their first run was a nice run, but it got held back because of a holding call, which was a fair holding call. I believe this was on Cornell, the first down, because it pretty much catapulted the run. He couldn't get back into the play. So then we're in first 17, and this one breaks for a pretty nice gain. Now, I think it's important to note here what Kevin Strong said after the game. I like this defensive scheme because I don't have to take on as many double teams. I get to just get off the line and go. And that's kind of a very different approach to what the Lions are taking this season in terms of defensive line, right? Kind of more of that one gap approach where you're just getting downhill. You're not necessarily read and react with the defensive line. And I think Strong hit on that in the post-game press conference when he was talking about this defense. And we're going to see plays out of the defensive line because of that reason. And they also hit us with a really nice play offensively, though, because of that reason. They hit us with a nice little draw here. Our guys are attacking a field, so our defensive linemen are kind of out of spots. Cornell's unable to get off. Alex attacks down. He's unable to make the play. I like A.J. Parker. He was starting at a slot in this game. Interesting. Unable to get down there and make play. And then a good block pickup downfield by the tight end on Jamie Cowan. So kind of a rough rep there for the defense. And they get a really nice gain on that play. Brings up a 2nd and 3. They would come back, get a first down, but there was no clip from that, so we're just going to move on. But they got a first down. Keep in mind that there is no Josh Allen. They didn't really pass the ball against our defense. So there was no targets for Okuda. There was no targets on Amani. I mean, it wasn't like they had good coverage from what you could tell based on this angle, but there was no targets for those guys. So I guess that's a good thing. Now, in that last play, we were in a sub package, so we were unable to get in this base front, which is what we've heard all offseason about, which is 3 defensive linemen, your 2 outside linebackers, which is, of course, Romeo and Trey Flowers, right? Romeo's down here, actually, and then Trey Flowers on the top. And then you have your 2 inside linebackers, Jamie and Alex. So we were unable to see that in the last play because they were in a sub package. And the Bills do this a lot. They run a lot of 3-4 receivers. Like I said, last season they had the second most 4 receiver sets in football. So we didn't get to see this base defense a ton. Here was an example, though, from our 41 after the first down. And by the way, I think they only picked up 2 first downs against our top defense. Again, they were missing Josh Allen and a couple of their biggest weapons, so they leaned a little bit on the run, and this is one of those good reps, okay? We had some gashes early, but then we got in our base formation, and this is where you see Strong. You can see just the attack off the line of scrimmage. You basically have 5 guys on the line of scrimmage. This allows Trey to get a lot of these one-on-ones with tight ends, which is going to be fantastic this season against these base sets because he can really shut down the run. You get Romeo trailing from behind, but this is all about Kevin Strong, man. Kevin Strong attacking downhill, hits him with the swim, blows this up, loss of 3.
Now, where we saw issues with this run defense, another example here is when they're in these sub packages. Their interior defensive line, they got to take more responsibility because you only have 2 now, and you can see here they're kind of pushed out with a double team block. Now, Alex fills the lane, but this is where you want to see Jamie going to make that tackle. Since the offensive lineman comes up and picks him up, that's where McNeil has to be able to make that play, but unfortunately, he's able to get a pretty nice gain over the middle.
We're in a 3rd and 6 situation. Again, they go back to the sub package defensively, but you do notice that they have a 4-man front. They did this a lot in sub packages, so that's something that you can expect to see this season, is usually a lot of times at least 4 rushers. There was an emphasis on getting after the quarterback. We saw that from Aaron Glenn today. Blitzing, cornerback blitz, safety blitz, linebacker blitz. I mean, you get one-on-ones here with Trey and Romeo, and that's usually going to be a problem, and it's really nice to have that because you have your 2 big bodies in the inside. It'll be nice when this, like I said, when this defense line is healthy, it's going to be fun to watch. But they're going to go man coverage in the back end. Romeo's able to beat his guy inside. Jamie slides down and takes the running back, and they get the hit on the quarterback there, falls incomplete. Possibly could have been caught. A.J. Parker in coverage. Falls incomplete, and the Lions get off the field. They forced a field goal. Really, for the entire day, the Lions' run defense was pretty darn solid on the entire day. At the beginning, it struggled a little bit, and a lot of that probably had to do because of how many bodies they were missing on the interior of that defensive line, which is really where the offense attacked. Let's take a look at this second drive and how this offense performed. We know this was a long drive, and you get your first carry here, goes for 4 yards. Jamal possibly could have bounced this to the outside, but he just put his head down and went forward for 4 yards. He ran strong here. Maybe could have bounced it, but he got 4 yards on the play, so that's solid. We'll take 4 yards. So unfortunately, it was one of our better runs throughout the first quarter. You saw the Lions' offensive line definitely show some flashes of what they could do is in pass protection. That's where we saw some good for sure. And there's a couple of plays we saw some bad. specifically on that first drive. But coming back, you saw definitely some flashes of a good pass protection. Here's an example of it where Goff kind of has all day, right? He's able to get to his drop, get through his first progression. You can see he starts right, and he's able then to kind of work his way through his progressions and dump it off to Khalif Raymond here without anyone ever even getting near him. They picked up a 3rd and 1. They had a couple of third and one conversions. They were really trying to establish the run here. This time they're going to have Jonah Jackson pull, and they did this with Big V later. They did a lot of pulling offensive linemen, and this one just seemed like a missed block. You have Jason Kabinda leading the way. Jonah would have picked up this linebacker. You may have had a shot for a cutback lane here, unless, of course, this linebacker could have broke off, but maybe something more. Instead, it gets blown up in the backfield because it looked like Jonah was eyeing the guy that Kabinda ultimately blocked, so it just looked like kind of a mess up and blocking there, because look, Jonah coming around, he's trying to pick up the same defender that Kabinda picks up, and that's why this guy's free.
You can see Khalif was unable to pick up this block, so defender just basically split the 2 offensive players, and he got in the backfield clean.
Then we're in a 2nd and long situation. Again, we don't like to get any situations, but you definitely see some good flashes here from the offensive line. Penei Sewell and Decker, look how they're the first guys off the offensive line. They get in a good spot this time. Jared Goff is able to get time in the pocket. Okay, he's able to come out of his break, hit Amon-Ra St. Brown, good ball placement. He's clean in a good pocket, and he delivers a strike. This was a strong rep for Penei Sewell. I mean, when I watch Sewell here, you can see his hands. He goes to battle with the edge rusher. He's able to push him out of the pocket, and good protection in the inside allows Goff to step up a little bit, but fire on time, and he's able to put it away from the defender. You don't even have to technically count this play because we did move the chains. Either way, it's good protection throughout most of the play, except for Taylor Decker allows his guy by him at the end, and that's really, I think, where the issue came in here, because Sewell solid protection, Decker let his guy by. There was a chance to step up here, and he probably could have stepped back and tried to throw it, but he doesn't know where the defenders are, so he just took off. Like I said, there was a defensive flag, so the drive kept alive on that one. So I just thought I would at least point it out, though, because you saw another solid rep there for Penei Sewell. But then we're back in 1st and 10 situation, and this is something we saw a lot in the past with Jared Goff. Kabinda's nice grab, but shout out to the Bills' defense. The Bills' defense made a good play here. This linebacker able to kind of throw off Kabinda's, throw off the play a little bit. That's a very well-disciplined play, because if he continues to attack into the backfield, your Kabinda's going to have a lot of room in front of him to run, at least 5 yards. Because he throws him off his route by being able to push him, all of a sudden the other linebacker's able to catch up. Goff could not go to Tyrell because the safety shot down on it, so we had to go underneath the Kabinda. He gets time in the pocket. You have Penei Sewell in the top here. He's doing his thing. He's going to battle. There's another solid one. You can see Jonah Jackson. His guy gets a step, but then he just pushes him out of the pocket. And that allows Jared Goff clean pocket, nothing in his face. Big V and Frank do a good job here of taking care of the interior rush. Again, no one in Goff's face. If you're able to do this consistently, that's going to be a big deal heading into this season. And that's a big reason that Goff was 7 for 9. He was able to get on a little bit of a roll there. But I like this a lot because you can see where Goff wanted to go with the football, but you can also see how he moves the defender. And these are little slight things. Notice where he's looking. He's looking at this flat route the entire time, understanding that there's going to be this out route. Looking at this flat route, holds the defender enough. You can see how he starts to slide down to when he looks back to the tight end, he's got enough space where he can throw it outside of the tight end Darren Fells there, and he's able to put in a spot where the defender can't get to it. See, he's just a second late, but that's because Jared Goff held it with his eyes. If he has time in the pocket, we know, we saw back with the Rams, he did the same thing. So it's nice to see this out there where he stares down the flat, moves the defender, and he's able to put it right out of the reach of the linebacker, and Fells makes a nice grab. That was a cool thing to see. And again, this was coming without a very effective run game. We weren't running the ball that well. The offensive line was missing some assignments. Maybe Jamal was missing a few holes. Here's your 3rd and 1. A linebacker is able to get free here, but Jamal just does what Jamal has to do. He needs a yard, go get me a yard. Simple as that. Go get me a yard. Like we said, he did it with the Packers. This, I know there's a flag, but I like it. They line up St. Brown in the backfield. They let him do a little arrow route. And again, look at Jared Goff's eyes. I know it's kind of tough to tell because of the quality isn't fantastic, but he's looking over the middle of the field, okay? He's holding these defenders, the linebackers, over the middle of the field. That way, as soon as he looks back to St. Brown, they're flying over the middle. He's got enough space to get it there. St. Brown does what he has to do after the catch, makes the guy miss, gets the first down. There's a flag that brings it back. I think it was on Frank Ragnow. And then we came back. We had a 5-yard draw. Now we're in a 2nd and 15 situation. So again, we're constantly playing behind the sticks, which is not good. But you would then have to give credit to the offensive line, because if you're constantly playing behind the sticks, usually you're going to have problems in protection. So pass protection actually wasn't too bad. Goff's able to go through his breaks again, and this was the big play to Tyrone Williams, but just look how much time he gets. A 4-man rush, and look how much time he gets in the pocket. Sewell holds his end down there. Decker's doing his thing, and notice Big V, right? He gave up the sack early, kind of, basically, but then he comes back here, gives you a little pancake, He's a big dude. He's a big dude, and if you get off balance, he can put you in the ground. There's Jonah doing his thing, and it gives Goff a very clean pocket. Looks like cornerbacks are playing a little flat. It almost looks like a cover 2 drop, but you have the safety at the top of the screen here. You can see him. He's running back. So they're going to go do a split safety set as soon as he snaps it. So there's 2 split safeties deep, but then you have the cornerbacks dropping the flats. You see him down here and you see him up here. So that means there's a space between the safety and the cornerback. And Goff, starting right, holds the safety on the left side who is backing up just long enough where he's not sliding over to that deep route to Tyrell, that when Goff goes back to Tyrell, he's got the space between the corner and the safety right there. Boom. To put it between him. So again, if he's got time, he can move defenders, and that's why we always say he's on time, on schedule. He's a good quarterback, and you see it here. He's able to move the ball pretty well, but again, the run game was pretty questionable. This one looks really ugly. I don't know what's going on with this one. This looks pretty fuzzy. Again, they come back with the shotgun run here. It just wasn't fantastic. They also didn't have Swift to kind of change the pace either. That doesn't help. This time, Taylor Decker, you can see he slips and falls, which he's unable to pick the block. He's unable to pick up this block. He slips and falls. And, yeah, basically the play's dead. Look, Jamal doesn't make a lot of guys miss. He just kind of runs over people, but he's got to get downhill. Unfortunately, the Lions didn't do a fantastic job of that in this game. Again, here, even though it's a 3rd and 7, the defense knows you're passing the ball. You're not running it on 3rd and 7, so they're getting after it. But the offensive line, run blocking wasn't great, but the offensive line does their job in terms of pass protection to allow Goff to have time. And they even throw a stunt at the bottom here. Look at this. Frank's prepared for it. He picks it up. And then you have Decker and Sewell holding their own. Look at Sewell. Look at the hand placement on Sewell real quick. Look how inside he gets. When he gets beat, he allows his chest to get open. That's the time he got beat. But he gets right inside. Look at this. I mean, he's got him locked up. He's got him locked. That's a heck of a rep there for Sewell. Now, he gets his arm up. You don't like to see that. But it's a heck of a rep. I mean, look at the space. Look at this space for Goff. There's nothing to even worry about. And he's able to just say, okay, I can wait. See, this timing was a little off. Because they needed 7 yards, the time was a little off. Right out of his plant, he's waiting for St. Brown. If that's all the time he had, that's going to be a problem because St. Brown isn't far enough. You got to have time. And they know you're passing the football. So for Goff to be able to wait for St. Brown to come out of his break, that shows the protection that you had. And this was a pretty play because as soon as you recognize, bam, right here, that this is man coverage across the board, and Goff says, okay, hey, look, he might have noticed this before the snap.
As you can see, there's only 10 players on the field for the Bills, so that means there is a single high safety deep, likely leaning towards the right side of the field, but because of that, it's man coverage across the board, which means that route combination of Tyrell going deep is going to take the attention of the safety, which makes it an easy one-on-one for Amon-Ra St. Brown from the slot position, and all St. Brown has to do is get that outside leverage, and you can see by the way the cornerback's playing him and by the crisp route for St. Brown being on time because of good protection.
Out route, crisp route, I mean, he got broken ankles. Good ball placement, no pressure in his face, and they moved the chains again. The run game wasn't even playing at that high of a level, so it was nice to see that the offensive line did step up. Even DoseOfDion said something. And then this play was kind of cool. I don't remember the Lions really mixing this in much in the past, but just a quick little throw to Tyrone Williams, right? The cornerbacks are backing up, quick little throw. He's able to catch it, make a move after the catch, and he gets a first down. That was a nice game for Tyrone Williams. We'll take that. This was a battle. I think this will get better as time goes on. It was the first week, and there was just some missed blocks. I mean, it didn't seem like they were getting outplayed. Like, they clearly have a lot of talent. It just seemed like missed assignments was constantly leading to plays getting blown up in the backfield. So that's something to notice. And again, when they get to the regular season, like Goff said, when they're able to adjust what they see and play a different style, they can open up the defense in different ways. But this time, again, Jonah Jackson pulls. Again, he probably could have taken the outside linebacker possibly here. Maybe if he takes the outside guy, then Jamal Williams would have a chance to break this to the outside, right? Because the safety slides down. If he picks up the safety, possibly, but the safety jumps outside, so Jonah goes inside, and then Jamal Williams doesn't have really anywhere to go with that. Jamal may have been able to cut back left, maybe, but he was already going right. So, anyways, the run blocking definitely could have been better in this game. 2nd and 9. This play came incomplete, but this was what you want. This is what you want from Jared Goff. They're showing a single high safety look. So they bring the 4-man rush, and then it's about being able to protect number 1, and number 2, finding the matchup he wants. And this is something we saw a ton in training camp, is Tyrone Williams in the red zone, right? We're in red zone here. This is something they've practiced. Tyrone Williams has a one-on-one in the slot here, and this is the guy that he wants. He's got the size advantage. He trusts Tyrell. He does this. He looks for him before the snap. You know, you could see it in the red zone drills they would do at camp. Starts right. He's able to work his way back left, gets that one-on-one shot that you want. Again, because there's only one high safety, they can't split the field. So he's able to get a one-on-one opportunity. Could have been a flag there. Gives him a chance, though. That's all you want is him to give him a chance in the end zone. The bigger receiver maybe could have put it up a little bit higher, maybe a little further to the outside. But it was nice to see that shot taken. And then this one, to me, my first glance was like, oh, Goff just took off too soon. He shouldn't have taken off too early. He should have trusted his offensive line more. But I think because you can see Penei Sewell gets a little bit beat on this play. It seems like Sewell does right here. Like, and really what happened is his get off was bad. Let me see if I can stop it at the right. Stop it. Sewell's get off is slow. Notice how slow his get off is. He's in a really bad spot already. He's already behind. So Sewell's chasing at this point. Now he's got to make up and recover. And we've seen the agility to do it. He gets in a spot where he kind of pushes him out of the pocket. So maybe if Goff trusts the offensive line more, maybe you're thinking, okay, you would have been fine here. So that just shows some of that athletic ability. Right, you're going to see good and you're going to see bad from Sewell. He's a young player. Dude hasn't played in over a year. So you're going to see up and down. But the athleticism there, and you could see it with that recovery to push him out of the pocket. And I first watched it and said, man, Goff just took off too early. But what I think he saw is he saw this open grass and said, hey, I can go pick that up. Because he made this decision pretty darn quick right out of his drop. Bam. Maybe he's felt the pass rush and he said, I need to go. But he didn't even look to really pat. Like, he was gone. He felt like he could pick this up. And there's a lot of green grass here. And with them playing man coverage back here on this cornerback, that means this whole left side would have probably been opened up. So he might have had a chance. And you could see he's taken off to the left side, right? But because he gets slipped up by this defensive lineman, maybe he thought he was a little bit faster than he was, that pretty much kills it, and that's why he cuts back. So I was wondering why he took off so early. I think he saw the green grass and said, I can go get that. Fortunately, if this defensive line doesn't hit him, maybe there's a shot that he's able to dive out and at least get closer, give himself a chance. But because he slows him down here and he starts to hop, he's unable to get there, and that's why he kind of just goes down at the 10. So either way, strong drive. The run blocking needs to be better. It just seemed like constantly missed assignments on pulling blocks, guys picking up the wrong guy, and that's something they'll be able to look back at film and figure it out because this is a new blocking scheme with Anthony Lynn. This is different. We have a lot of studs here, so they're going to pick it up. Frank's a stud. Jonah's going to be good. They're going to pick this up, but it's just about, you know, and we saw the talent one-on-one, they were able to do this. They knew the pass rush was coming, and they were still able to hold their own without extra blockers in the backfield. That's a big deal. We got killed against the Packers last year and behind, and they knew we were passing because we couldn't hold up. So it was nice to see, like, the athleticism from Sewell. You just saw some inconsistencies. You just saw some, hey, he had some tough reps. But what rookie doesn't have tough reps, especially when you miss an entire year? In their final drive for the defense, I like this. You can see where Ford's lined up. He's already showing blitz. And we saw this multiple times. There was a screen they threw where D. Marlowe jumped down on it. And there's a lot of trust between the secondary. What we saw during camp has shown off here. But then they send Mike Ford on this cornerback blitz. And we didn't see a lot of that in the past. They send Mike Ford on the blitz. And Ford really blows this play up. And I like the adjustment there for Aaron Glenn to say, okay, let's bring a cornerback blitz. Let's do something a little bit different here. Mike Ford slides down. And he's there to make the tackle, limit this gain. That was a nice play from Ford. Then we're in a 2nd and 8 situation. Going to bring 4 guys consistently, which is cool to see. They bring Romeo and they bring Trey. Trey's not able to get tons of pressure there. Tries to get his hand up. But this one, you can see Jamie Collins is trying to call something out. I think he's looking for the running back. So it caused him to be a little bit late to slide over and try to make a play on this football. And T-Walk is beat. So they have T-Walk slide down. He's supposed to guard a tight end one-on-one. And after seeing this, I'm like, okay, I see why in camp they focus so much on his coverage. This is something I guarantee you'll see him continue to work on. And we're going to see them ask him to do this during the season, and I bet every day in practice he's continuing to get reps like this, one-on-one, work on coverage. There was one day of training camp where he literally didn't even go out with the defense. They just said, you're working one-on-one, and he did that the entire drill. And Aubrey Pleasant was there to, give him some praise, trying to help him out a little bit, and it didn't look fantastic, but we've seen improvement. We've seen tighter coverage from him more recently in camp, and I would say even here's a good rep. Not bad coverage. He's in a spot to make a play on the football. He just doesn't get his hand out to knock it away. He's in a spot where he could potentially make a play on this ball. He just doesn't get his hand out to make a play. Jamie can't really help him. I like how Amani slides off and he recognizes this and is there for the tackle to limit that gain. Flowers, this is our base defense, right? You don't have the same interior defense lineman that you're looking to have, but Trey Flowers getting reps against tight end. He's going to be able to blow up plays like this. Alex Angeloni steps outside to take this, but unfortunately Jamie's a little too far out where he's not able to fill the hole. Alex did a good job of plugging holes in this game. We just didn't always have someone following. But shout out to Will Harris who dove in the box, played aggressive. They were making a play from behind. 5-yard gain, yeah, it stinks, but 6-yard gain. They need 4 yards in 2 plays, and they couldn't get it. That's huge. And I noticed Will Harris a ton here in this game because he was very aggressive, but he was making some big plays in the box. We're back in our base set defensively here, right? We see the 5-man front, kind of a 50 front. Trey Flowers is just rolling back this tight end. That's the advantage he's going to have. You have Romeo on a tackle. One time a tackle is going to get him, but you're going to get tight end matchups. Will Harris shoots in there. Look at Trey Flowers making this play with one hand, by the way. Will Harris shoots in there. Look at him take on the lead blocker like a linebacker. That's what I like to see out of you, Will. That takes me back to watching his college highlights. He takes that on like a linebacker, and then you have Trey Flowers grabbing him with one arm, pulling this guy back, and of course Amani steps in here, and this is huge. Look at Will Harris. My goodness. I mean, Will is literally, look at, he's bullying this wide receiver. He's playing like a linebacker. And then Amani slides in and does his thing, cleans it up like he has in camp. I like that. I like to see the aggressiveness. He's got the size to do it. We need to see him clean those plays up more consistently. And then on a 3rd and 3, there's of course a passing threat here. They go to the handoff. Look how fast Alex Anzalone diagnoses this. I mean, he's on this. There's no hesitation. He is the first guy to start sprinting. He waits and bam, he's on it. He's attacking no matter what. And, he's going to pick up the lead blocker, take on half him. And once he does that, which is his role, take the lead blocker, the other guys just got to follow in. That's Jamie and that's Will.
This is a good example of playing Will to his strengths. Putting Will in the box and putting Tracy Walker back deep is where he's had his most success in the NFL. So the Lions having the ability to do this on a split safety package is awesome.
But look at Will. Will sees the handoff. Look at him fly in there like a linebacker. I mean, there's no hesitation. He's jumping in on the pile. I love to see it. And, of course, Kevin Strong. He gets doubled here. Gets off, though. This lineman falls, and they blow this play up. A team defense, and he's going nowhere. That's huge, man. That was a huge play by the run defense. So it was nice to see them step up. They allowed 4 yards per play in their 2 drives, which would have been first in the NFL last season. But, of course, they didn't really have a passing threat. They didn't get targeted much. Tracy Walker gave up the 1 completion, but Okuda didn't get targeted. Mine didn't get targeted. They didn't look bad in coverage, but there wasn't that many passing plays. But I just like my standouts from this has to be the offense line and pass pro. It showed you what they could be. You saw some of the Sewell potential, but you also saw some glimpses and getting beat. But that's what we've seen with every rookie. We've seen good and bad. Goff looked poised, but he also looked comfortable. He looked very comfortable with that offensive line. So that's a big deal. The run blocking needs to be better. The assignments need to be better. Jamal had some questionable decisions with the ball in his hand, that's for sure. But like they said, they're just running plays. So whatever they call, they're going to run no matter what the defense shows. So as the game went on, Craig Reynolds, he was fantastic. So we're going to take a look at those guys soon. But I just want to look at the first unit here. So Jamal definitely could have been better with some of his reads and cuts, and that's something he's going to have to cover with. This is a new rushing offense. Same line, but new offense. But I believe in our linemen. I believe our linemen will be able to pick this up and figure it out and get that thing rolling and pick up some of those assignments, not let Jamal get hit behind the line of scrimmage. Because, again, if you can hold up in pass pro when they know you're passing the football, that speaks volumes big time. I mean, that's huge, and being able to keep multiple weapons on the field for Goff, that's a game changer. When Goff is comfortable, he's able to move the defense. Our defense, the run defense wasn't great. It definitely wasn't. It stepped up here, as you could see. They stepped up. Their safeties got more involved. They brought the cornerback blitz to really start it off. The defensive backs were much more involved. They were flying around. That was cool to see, and as the game went on, we'll look at these later, but, Aaron Glenn brought it. He brought it defensively. He was not going to sit back and let teams just run all over him. He made an adjustment, and it stepped up. Strong was fantastic throughout the game. We know that. But it was nice to see the secondary get involved a lot. Also, we were missing a lot of interior defensive linemen. So we had first-string offensive linemen going against, like our 5th and 6th interior defensive linemen. Nothing wrong with that. They got to compete. They got to improve. And we saw good out of Strong. But it'll be different when you have Michael Brockers inside with, let's say, I don't know, Deshaun Hand.
And if you look through the statistics, you'll notice that the Lions' run defense was pretty darn good after the first unit. So when the defensive line started catching up to the offensive line in terms of depth chart, Matt Breida, Williams, they weren't running the ball that well against us.
Or Nick Williams, that'll be a big difference as well. But either way, man, those are kind of what I take away from this. Kind of guys that we expected to step up did step up, and we'll probably do more videos breaking stuff like this down. We'll see how this one goes when it comes out. But yeah, let me know in the comments below, what should we do next? Should we take a look at studs, duds? Should we take a look at second unit? What should we look at? Thank you, Brad, for watching, and I'm out.